Hello one for the 3.13 Manifesto that just got released yesterday by the time you're watching this video. This video came out a little bit later than I expected. Stuff in swerving things, going through all the things that got released and all the dates took a lot longer than I expected. So this will be part one of two videos. Part one is going to be the Manifesto, which is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. We'll do the ascendancy changes we'll go over what I do know. We'll do the announcement that GGG put out, and then part two will be the passive skill points for the maps and what I think I'm gonna take. Going over what map is what I'm gonna take in the order of this. So it'll be part two. So pretty much the manifesto is very short, and a lot of this is gonna be talked about in the next thing we're talking about. So I'll skip whatever we don't need to go over. So like ascendancies, we'll go over this in the next one. So I'm gonna skip this for now. It's pretty much Impale got hit hard on a champion. So the aura stackers did get nerfed, which we all knew was coming. We just didn't know how. So GGG pretty much put out there that the way they're going to hit the build is going to be they're going to hit the qualities that granted you and nearby enemies. These are from the aura, alternate quality gems like the purity of ice, fire, elements. Those four. Because in the alternate quality ones, you let you pierce elemental resistance, and when you equip that with like the nebulous, it pretty much makes it really good. Or even with a lot of other items, you can just instant pierce everything to kill them so fast. So they are pretty much going through in general case, especially when playing solo. These are still be generated given to regular quality effects of the aura, but they're just reducing it down pretty much. That's what they're doing. So the bigger ones are hitting. The small passive skill on cluster jewels that grant increased effect of non-curse auras. These are the medium clusters, the ones that were going for like a 2 to 3 exalt base in Flashback, Mayhem, and Harvest League. The one the Golems use, the aura stackers use, the best medium cluster in the game. So now, instead of being a 6% really, 5 to 6% like it used to be, it's now a flat 3%. So it's about 50% nerf on those. So it did hurt a lot. And also, so pretty much stats were scarce on the regular passive tree, often requiring large investments to reach each cluster, but they become very accessible once cluster jewels are introduced, which is true. After this change, using multiple aura cluster jewels together should be less effective, which is true. Because before you ran, 3, 6, 9, I think, on the aura stackers and 4 on the golems, times that by 6% is a lot. And now you're pretty much cutting it in half completely. So it should cut it down a big chunk. And also, we'll find this out more tomorrow. Well, you'll find out more when the patch notes come out. So also the cluster jewels that gave you Steward Command and First One Equals, which is the same as the non-curse auras, will be providing too much aura effect, so we don't know how that's going to eventually change. What that change probably be nerfed it down to maybe like 5% or so, or less. We'll know patch notes come out though. So Impale. So pretty much if you play Call of Steel Impale with the Impaler Keystone, they nerfed it pretty much. They pretty much completely killed the Call of Steel builds. So that now I think you have to wait the 4 seconds instead of actually triggering over and over, and I think they actually wait for the 4 full seconds for the Impale again, which does hurt the build a lot. And then also, where is it? The Lord of Steel jewels that grant increased reflect damage now grants 20-25% increased reflect damage from 40 to 50, which is a lot. To allow players to invest in Call of Steel without requiring a specific jewel. The Swift passive tree cluster is, blah blah blah. So it's pretty much Call of Steel got hit hard. And reduces the maximum shards too. So it's definitely got hit really bad. And you also see when we go to the this stuff, what happened to the build also. With the champion skill. So the other thing that got hit, besides aura stackers, is minions. They pretty much middle fingered minions completely. It's 100% hit extremely bad. So Ray Specters, Golems, Carrier Golems, Stone Golems, all of those got hit extremely hard on this. So Ray Specters are now going to be monster level 72 at gen level 20 instead of 76. So they lost 4 levels alone on the monster level. To have lower accuracy to roughly match the raid zombies at the same monster level, who cares? The slightly lower monster level scaling past gem level 20, so it's going to hurt. In addition, we have made minor changes to they have 12 specters. These are the ones that everyone pretty much ran 1 to 2 of in all minion builds or specter builds that did the that white fog around them. That pretty much make it so they pretty much reduce damage taken to allies, which pretty much is it's a defensive specter. But now they pretty much just nerfed it completely. And this was the way to get him was through the tool breachstones. He didn't have this name. He was always the rare guy who walked, the rare boss who walked around, monster, whatever to call it. So now it no longer grants reduced damage taken to allies and grants slightly less chance to dodge attacks and spells for their Snow Cloak skill, which ability was proven more defense power than some of their effective player defense skills, which is true. Also, the knife throwing skill that Syndicate Operas use is no longer considered a spell, so they hit that one too, which I was surprised on. As this creates so pretty much it's what made the Spectre Opera so good was a knife throwing thing, because and they probably will, to be honest, they're gonna probably nerf Pinpoint also tomorrow when the patch notes come out, because Pinpoint's what helped it too. So Carrier Golems, Stone Golems have had their damage reduction reduced at all levels, so I'm pretty sure they got hit really hard, and Carrier Golems were more severe. So Elemental's Golem passive in general provides fewer offensive bonus to Golems, which you can take Necromancer too. In part because the rest of the Elementals now provides effects to increase damage taken by enemies. The minion, also the Cluster Jewel, this is the large minion damage one, that gave you Rhino Claws and Renewal combo that everyone used. Have had their values reduced also. So I'm pretty sure instead of being the 20% on the Rhino Claws, it'll probably either be a 10 or 15 if I had to guess. Which is going to be hard to get the 100% chance to impale. But Golems are dead. But I'm pretty sure someone will still break the game with Golems somehow. They've made buffs to the damage of skeleton mages and speed the unearth and offering effects. The other Leash of Obliteration unique belt, as they were not powerful as their alternatives. So maybe skeletons will be good, but it depends. If Pinpoint is still good, then skeletons might still be playable. But it's hard to say. So they are also buffed more than 40 skills. Well, no, we'll go over this more on patch notes. I'm not going to sit there and go over, it's just, all thing they told us is Scorching Ray, Cobra Lash, which is nice, and Frostbomb. Those are 3 out of the 40. So we'll skip it for now. Earth Shatter has slightly more variance to the distance spikes appear initial slam location and exploding radius for spikes. Has been slightly lower, so Earth Shatter probably got a little bit of nerf to it. Contagion also got a smaller reduction to the skills radius in combination with Essence Drain. So Contagion did get hit pretty hard, because you'll see when we see the Ascendancy skill tree, or the Assassin skill tree, I mean. The flash charge on crit strike cooldown has been lowered from 0.2 seconds to 0.1 second, making them more consistent, pretty much. So unique items, these 4 items are going to get nerfed next league. So if you have them now, they're going to be legacy. If GG doesn't hot patch them, we don't know if it's going to be you have to use the Divine on them to change them, or they're automatically going to be automatically just fixed right away. But Replica Nebula, pretty much if you want to read these 4, just read them on here. But pretty much, Albert's Warpath got hit really hard from being 80 strength instead of 50 strength. So it's harder to get the that more damage. Replica Nebulous was pretty much too powerful. So now it's 15% to 20, from 3 to 5% per 1% misting, up to the max of 300%. By dueling. So pretty much just read them. And they got rid of the spell on those. So Anonymous Arctic Armor, Divergent Plague Bear, Anonymous Bolt, Anonymous Plague, Anonymous Scorching Arrow all got nerfed. We'll know more though when patch notes. So with the Deadeye, they talk about Far Shot, the Tailwind. I don't know if this Tailwind only applies to the Deadeye Ascendancy, the nerf it got, or if it's permanent through Tailwind boots in general. It's one thing we don't know for sure yet, probably until patch notes come out. Because if they nerf it to 2%, that probably will be noticeable. If it's every Tailwind, or it's only this one. We don't know yet. And then effect don't matter. So they didn't really go over it as much as I thought they were going to. So let me do this real fast. We're going to go over the ascendancies really quick. I haven't played every ascendancy on here, so the ones I have not played, I'm probably going to end up just skipping. Just to give you a heads up. And I probably recommend just going in there or watch the other streamers who I can talk more about it, explain it better. It'd be more just a quick my end. So Slayer, they did flip out these two. That was we knew in advance with the trailer. And all these tabs will be linked in the description below. So on Brutal, which is the Leech one, so they added 100% increased maximum recovery per leech, 10% reduced damage taken while leeching, and they pretty much removed the attack speed, attack damage, to reduce damage while leeching. So it's definitely got hit hard. Overwhelm, which is one over here, just pretty much increased the crit on weapon by 0.5%. They increased all the strike ranges on these little ones. Which one is it? What? Oh no, that's this one over here. So added more strike range. Let's go faster. Attack leech is light, it's higher. They increased by 5% on these two. Higher. They removed 20% more damage against unique monsters. Added 20% damage for hits against bleeding and all that kind of stuff. And this Hunger got 20% increased attack speed while leeching, which is nice. Master Inform added a Frenzy charge. It got rid of the increased duration. Pretty much for Endurance and Frenzy. Overall, people probably still would probably play Slayer next week. They'll probably do like a Cyclone Slayer, Flicker Strike Slayer. I can see it happening a lot. Still with the leeching strong. So Gladiator was actually the one I've been waiting for to see some of the builds I made and videos and stuff. So Painford, so this one did not get touched. They only touched Painford, Blood and Eyes, and Violence pretty much. So now on Painford, it took off the 40% increased damage we've taken no hit damage recently, which is a lot of damage for a lot of builds. So these two, they removed the bleed chance that used to be on both of them. These both give you 25% chance. Now they just put it all into this one for the flat 50% chance. So it's much better. Higher chance to get bleeding quicker. Let's go over them separate now. So bleed pop is still there. They did not remove it off. All they did with this one is gave it bleed pop still, and then 20% more damage against bleeding. But they did take away. That one got pushed to the other one, so it doesn't matter. So they did take away 25% more damage with bleeding, and also 30% increased damage with hits for bleeding, pretty much. So pretty much they lowered the more damage by 5%, and they also took away the 30%. So pretty much it lost 35% damage, just on this one alone. And that's not including the 40% in this one if you add them together. But most builds will either go like this, or they'll just go here, they'll get this one and this one. So Blood and Eyes is they just took 25% chance from each of them and put it together as 50. And then also now they upped the blind chance with hits against bleeding enemies by 15%. So now you have a 20% chance to always blind, which is really nice. They changed also these little baby ones, these three, to now being universal. So you don't need the shield anymore. You can do a two-hand now, all that kind of stuff. Which two-hand block might see more play now. Champion. This one got hit hard. So, still have permanent fortified. But now, Master of Metal got hit really bad. So, Impales now inflict only 1 instead of 2, which is right here. And they also took away the 20% chance to impale enemies. So, now so Master of Metal is really bad now. Inspirational, 30% increase effective non-curse auras from your skills. They got rid of the movement speed, and they buffed the increase effect pretty much. Unstoppable Hero, now is 20% increased attack speed while you have Fortified. So they increased the attack speed by 10% with the Fortified, and they reduced the armor and evasion by 500, by a flat 500 pretty much. And he also got rid of the attack damage, so it does hurt a lot. They increased the effect of fortified on you. Now these little nodes instead of attack damage, so it's more damage you lost. The Impale baby one, which is this one right here. 10% chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks instead of impale effect. So they pretty much took off the 20% here and split it as a 10% on this one. Still not the best. So you have to, instead of 10%, now you have to go get somewhere else. And then Conquer, the one up here, the taunt one. 10% reduced damage taken if you taunt an enemy recently, up from 6%, so a 4% increase. Taunt enemies, you deal 20% less damage. So that went up by 10%, and they got rid of the life regen. So I think Champion got hit really hard. This is why this the Steel skill is gone with this build. The fact that you lost Master of Metal hurt a lot. Waypoint's point's not really worth running anymore. Because pretty much you're looking at these two, and then from there, it's just really up to you which way you want to go. But I think Champion got hit really hard with this. With notes coming up. Assassin also got hit really hard. So a lot of assassins were like the ED or the BB builds. I think BB poison is gonna have a lot of problems now. So 30%. So pretty much with poison, like you would take these two right away. But now you lost a 50% increased damage to poison. You lost so the damage over time just went by 5%, but you still lost 45% pretty much, which is huge. And also on the one after it, now it gives you this crit strike chance per poison affecting an enemy, up to 2%. But you lost 10% reduced damage taken off of damage over time, which is nice. The crit just went up by 0.1%. But you also gained 20% of fizz damage, extra chaos damage against poison enemies, so it's more damage. They definitely hit the poison damage hard on this one. Deadly Infusion lost the 10% movement speed. That is this one. So now instead of movement speed, it's just crit multiplier and chance. So it definitely hurt. Less damage over time. Increase elusive effect, but you lost movement speed. Power charge duration went up. Damage over time went down. Same with this one. Mistwalker. So it gains elusive on crit strike. Instead of 50% chance, now it's just 100% chance. And then 50% increase effect, or increase elusive effect from 25%. So 20% increase in there, but you do lose damage reduction, increase attack and cast speed. So you lose a lot of attack and cast speed with this build, which is huge. And Optimistic, which is usually the one everyone took. Everyone usually took these two in either power combo or the poison combo. So 20% reduced damage taken while there's at least two rare or unique enemies by. So you lose the movement speed again, and you also reduce damage went by 10%. So they really hurt the movement speed on this big time. Sabotage, I'm not gonna go over this one because I never played mines. I've done mines once. I don't remember how to play it. So like, I guess this is good. 50% increase. It's really hard for me to go over this one. They added blind but removed more damage. Crit strike multiplier but less air effect. I'm guessing this one got nerfed. You generate more life, but you lose mana cost reduction. You lose mana cost reserve, which is really good. This one got nerfed. This got hurt pretty bad. So Trickster I've heard also got hit pretty hard. 30% increase maximum mana. So 5% increase. 30% chance to recover 10% of mana when you use a skill. So 10% increase there, but you do lose the 6% reducted damage taken after 4 seconds after spending a total of 200 mana. Probably not the biggest one. Ghost Dancer adds 3% reduced damage taken per Ghost Shroud from... So 1% increase. One hit, lose a Ghost Shard. Not even on here, actually. Oh, one hit, lose a Ghost Shard. And recover energy shield to 4%. No, 5%. So a 1% increase, but you lose chance to evade, movement speed, which they just ripped movement speed from the shadow completely, which is really bad. Removed poison duration, which is this one. Escape artists. They reduce the ghost shroud's attack and cast speed at 1%, and they remove dodge. So in this one, they reduce the mana by 1%, but the energy shield and life went up by 1%. And they got rid of more damage over time. Got rid of damage over time, that's flat. Oh geez, this one's big. I don't think anyone's ever taken this skill. This one got buffed overall, but I don't think anyone uses this. Very much non-chaos damage. And then 15%. So in this one got buffed by 5% each. So Shadow in general, I think I hit really bad with this. I definitely think not many people are playing Shadow next league. So pretty much all three Marauders ascendancies did pretty much stay pretty well. Those definitely are going to be 3 good choices for a lot of people next league. Because on Jug, the only thing they touch really is the this one up here. So you lose 500 flat accuracy rating. And then you also... pretty much they also reduced the attack speed for 150 accuracy rating. They lower by 50. Which makes sense with them reducing this one by half. So we have to do it. And also gain accuracy rating equal to your strength. This is now twice your strength. So they're trying to make it up for the 500 you lost on here. Which, it's really hard. That still is a nerf, I think. Maybe, it's hard to say really. This could be a positive actually. But you also do lose increased damage if you dealt crit strike recently. Accuracy rating if you did crit strike rating. You do lose some stuff. Reduce the endurance charge durations. Instead of increased stun duration on enemies, now you're generating more life. Which is not bad. This one's the same thing. So this one's not gonna hit that hard. Try and go through this pretty quick because it's already over 20 minutes now. Berserker, not too much change here too. Pain Reaver, 30% increase attack speed if you hit recently, 5% increase. Reduce the crit strike chance for blitz charges by 2%. Crave the Slaughter, the one over here. They just added plus 10 to maximum rage. And this one went up by 20% for recovery per second from life leech, which is pretty good. I definitely think Berserker is really good next league. Chieftain, the only thing they touch really is the totem stuff, which no one plays. So let's go over this one. 50%, so 5% increase of physical damage taken from hits as fire damage, and regenerate 2% life is gone. Pretty much the only thing. So Necromancer, they on Essence Gluttony, this one, they got rid of your increased mana, so you have less mana now with Necromancer builds. 40% increase skill effect duration, went up by 10%, but you lose the minion duration. Just do left to right. Corpse Pack lost their increased damage. You consumed cores recently. Reduced 5% on damage. Minions. Minions lost more damage. Minions lost more damage. Guess what? Minions lost a lot of damage. So all the little nodes, pretty much 5% less damage now for minions. So Mister of Sacrifice, 40% increase. So this went up by 10. We heard this one actually. So all these little ones down here went down, which is pretty big. Not too bad to be honest, but it did lose mana and damage. That's pretty much all it lost. Oculus, I'm not going to go too much into this one because this was already revealed in the trailer. A lot of people talk about this one already. And I haven't done this one too often, so I can't really give personal. But I do know, I think people are talking about Cold Dot with this build to be playable next league. So I'm going to say this one probably will see a lot of play with Curse, Cold Dot, and stuff like that. I'm going to skip this one too just because it's an unknown one, but I think people will play. Enki's Arc build is going to be really good with new Elementalists because of your hits always shock. All damage with hits can shock. So pretty much you always shock. And the fact that Enki's Arc build runs Arc, it pretty much shocks all the time. So like that, you have your shield. That's 1, 2, and you're probably taking regenerate mana, exposure, area of effect. So these are really the Enki's Arc build is going to be very good next league. So I'm not going to go over the Ranger because I don't know anything about the Ranger skill tree. I don't want to give you guys false information. I think it's good or bad. This is not worth it. But pretty much the one they're talking about fixing is going to be the Tailwind on this one. So it's already under 8%, but I don't know if this is every Tailwind or just this Tailwind. So I'm not 100% sure on. But I think this Deadeye will see play next league. It's just it won't be as strong, but it will see play. Raider, I don't really know anything about this build. It just knows it has frenzy charges, +1 frenzy, permanent phasing apparently, or really good phasing, which is really good. Immune to elements, well, phasing is really phasing would be pretty good. Permanent onslaught effects. There's a lot of good stuff with this one. I think Raider is going to be very good, just based on quickly looking at this. So I definitely think Raider will see play. Flask Finder, I think, will still be good. It's just I don't want to give anything about this because I don't know too much about Flask Finder. Like Inquisitioner, I never played this build, so I'm not going to talk about this one. Hierophant, the quick thing about this one is they did pretty much rip this build also, like the champion. The fact that this one now doesn't give you summon 2 totems at a time pretty much killed this one completely. So I don't think I think totem builds are dead. This skill is very good, but other than that, there's nothing really worth taking this for, in my opinion. Guardians, I think a hit or miss, so because they only changed 4 things, and one of them is just the little nodes. So they changed 3 big, 1 little. So now nearby enemies will have 20% increased attack, cast, movement. So that went by 5%, but nearby enemies did lose 30% damage. Purpose went up by 10%. This one went down by 5%. And then now, 20% reduced effect curse on you. The old one, now it's 80%. So it's really good. Every 4 seconds now, you regenerate 30% of maximum life instead of 5 seconds. So it's 1 second faster now. You're getting more life. And also, but now you lose every 5 seconds. You lose that ability to automatically remove a curse, which is really nice. Which is why now it's 80% instead. So I definitely think they sort of balance each other. I still think Guardian will still be just as strong, just not as strong, but still just as well. So I'm not gonna go over this Scion. I never played a Scion. I played it once, did not like it. So it's really hard for me to go over this one to say what is good with Scions, what's not. I just assume Scion's gonna take Guardians, so 1% faster now on life regen, which seems pretty good. I think they usually take. Wait, they didn't change all this. Okay, it's not all of them changed actually. Necromancer stayed the same. So some of them stayed the same, some changed. I'm not gonna go over all of it. So that's gonna be it for this video. I tried to speed up this a little bit based on what I know, just so I don't give you guys bad information. But I think Gladiators should still be good for next league, even though it loses a little bit of it loses some damage on the bleed. At least the Impale section of the next block should be playable, but we'll see for sure once the patch notes come out. So if you'd like to see, hit subscribe down below. Come follow me on Twitch. Pretty much right after this video, I think a couple hours later, I'll get the this one out. So I have it all done. I just gotta record it. So thank you for coming out. I hope to see you on the next video.